What is going on, guys? Dino Bam Bam here with the 10-7 MMA. Happy to be back in your lives with another quick picks. God damn, it feels like it's been a long time since we've been here, but, of course, the UFC, they do what they do, right? They put on that massive card. Volk gets his title back. We get a week off, and really, honestly, a well-needed week off. I think we had like 9 straight weeks of fights, and, that week off really refreshed me, guys. But before we get into these quick picks, just a couple quick housekeeping notes, right? First thing, next week, UFC Des Moines, UFC Iowa, of course, friend of the channel, Deiveson Figueiredo is going to be in the main event against Corey Sandhagen. Me and DS will be going to that card. We already talked to Captain Eric. We're going to be doing something with him. Hopefully we get something with Deiveson Figueiredo figured out as well. Just really depends on what day we're able to go, me and DS. If we're there by Wednesday, Thursday, is kind of iffy. We're definitely going to do something again with Eric. We're hoping to get something done with Figgy. We'll see, what he's looking like. I don't want to bother him during his weight cut, right? So there is that. So like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that shit if you're looking forward to that content. Do it even if you're not looking forward to that content. Just hook your boys up. We're trying to get to 1,000. We're almost there, guys. We're this fucking close to 1,000. Like and subscribe. Also follow us on Instagram at D107MMA. It says follow Pro Schmo Bets. That's from the last video. He's not in this one, but fuck it. Follow Pro Schmo Bets. My boy Harry, he's always throwing some crazy shit out there. His bets hit all the time, so fuck it. Give him a follow. Anyways, guys, let's move on to the first fight of the night. We're going to go really quick through this damn card. We've got Chelsea Chandler. She's taking on Joselyne Edwards. Chelsea Chandler, a very big girl, very strong for the weight class, kind of slow, kind of lumbering. Does a great job when she pushes her opponent up to the cage. She does really well in that clinch, drags him down to the ground. And of course, that's kind of her game, right? She's taking on Joselyne Edwards, another big girl for the division, another girl that's missed weight. Both of these ladies kind of notorious for missing weight. But Joselyne Edwards, a lot lighter on her feet, right? A long-bodied striker, pretty fast for her size. I like her kick game. She's down to get brawly, which I don't love for her. But honestly, technically, she's going to be the way better striker in this fight. As long as she doesn't just get taken down and dominated, which she has been improving her ground game. This is an easy win for Joselyne Edwards. Give me Joselyne Edwards by decision. Chelsea Chandler, not plus 24. It's probably like plus 240 or something, all right? Next fight of the night, guys, we got Timmy Kwamba, and he is taking on Roberto Romero. Timmy Kwamba, a very fast striker with some solid power. Skill for skill, the guy is very talented, guys. He's really fun to watch. He's an entertaining style fighter, and I really do like that. His wrestling's okay. It's not that bad for a guy that is clearly a striker. Good takedown defense, which benefits him a lot. He needs to keep the fight on the feet if he wants to win most of the time. That's probably going to be the story in this one because he has taken on a grappler in Roberto Romero. Loves the clinch, loves the cage work. Sort of similar to Chelsea Chandler, a lot better. But just another guy that loves to use the cage to get his takedowns. He's very heavy when he gets the fight on the ground. He's very heavy on top. Good job staying on top. Definitely has some work to do in the striking, though, right? His striking is it's mid, guys. It's not something pretty, but he does have power, right? So anytime you have these grapplers, these wrestlers that are bad in the stand-up, right? Objectively, he's bad in the stand-up game, but he's got serious-ass power. It makes you respect it enough to the point where the striking then becomes, like, decent. You understand? So he's a tough-ass dude. We saw that in his fight against David Onama. I don't know. Look, I get why Romero's the favorite. A lot of people are picking him. He's a great wrestler. He's got some really good power. I think we're kind of discounting Timmy Kwamba here. It's so 50-50 to me. I mean, I want to say Timmy Kwamba, but I will go Roberto Romero. This is not something that I will be betting. If I do bet, I'd probably bet on Timmy Kwamba, and I definitely will not be parlaying this. So give me Romero by decision. Again, just a fight that I'm not very confident in, to be honest with you. Moving on, we've got Jacqueline Amorim, and she is taking on Polyana Viana. Guys, Jacqueline Amorim is a multiple-time jiu-jitsu world champion in both gi and no gi. She is absolutely world class when it comes to the BJJ. It's no surprise what she wants to do in fights, right? She wants to get the fight to the ground and use her submission skills. Last time out, a lot more wrestling than, straight submission skills. It was kind of a boring fight. Now, on the feet, she has serious power. Again, not the best striker in the world, but somebody with serious power for the division and then world-class jiu-jitsu. She is a threat everywhere the fight goes. She's taken on Polyana Viana, and I absolutely love me some Polyana Viana, right? Who doesn't? I mean, come on now. She's in all the skits, and she does videos with Marab and the whole fucking Peloton background. She's awesome. Yeah, she's all right. You know, she's a solid grappler. Kind of a weird fighter. She's either going to get finishes really early on in the fight, or she's going to lose a decision. To me, the odds are a little wide, but I get it. Jacqueline Amorim should definitely win this fight. She's probably better everywhere. This fight is going to hit the ground at some point. And if the fight hits the ground, that's Jacqueline Amorim's world. I'm going to say sub round 3, and maybe that's like optimistic thinking. Maybe Jacqueline, you know, maybe I'm thinking, you know, she's trying to work on not being as fucking boring as she was last time out. Kind of been like labeled as a cheater, right? I believe it was her last fight against Vanessa Demopoulos, if I'm not mistaken, where she was like holding gloves and holding the cage and shit. Like, I didn't like that. I'm going to pick her by sub, more than likely a decision, Jacqueline Amorim. Moving on, we got a really interesting fight here. We got Malcolm Wellmaker, and he's taking on Cameron Simon. Let's start with Cameron Simon, a very technical striker with some decent grappling that he has in his back pocket. And what I love about Cameron Simon is that he's a very unpredictable fighter, right? He's a guy that mixes things up very well. And I know that's kind of cliche, and we say it all the time, but honestly, he does a really good job of that. You never know what's coming from Cameron Simon. Just when you think he's finding his distance and he's doing a great job on the feet, he'll mix in that takedown. He'll throw a super weird-ass combo. He'll throw something spinning. He's not predictable at all, and that's, you know, an awesome thing. Last time out, he lost to Peyton Talbot, of course, and that was at the time looked like Peyton Talbot was like, you know, a new star. Of course, Peyton Talbot lost his last fight, so we don't know how that's aging. I think a lot of people are down on Cameron Simon. He has taken on Malcolm Wellmaker, a guy making his debut from Dana White's Contender Series. Super nice striker, fast, everything snappy and technical, super damn entertaining, fun to watch. Does an unreal job with distance management, range management, whatever you want to call it. Shows a really high-level understanding of striking. Malcolm Wellmaker is awesome, and I think this kid is going to he's not a kid, he's 30 years old, but I think this guy is going to make a name for himself in the UFC, and I think he's going to go places. Of course, he's coming off a nasty KO win on the Contender Series. I think he's really good, guys. I think we're discounting Cameron Simon, though, right? It wasn't long ago, maybe a year ago, where Cameron Simon was the guy, right? He was the prospect to watch, and of course, he got C-Rodded, and then he got Peyton Talboted, and he was just the dude, man. And I think after 2 losses, this kid knows he probably needs a win right now to stay in the promotion. I think he's been working his ass off, so I'm taking Cameron Simon. Maybe I'm crazy. I think he's improved. I hope he's improved. I do like Malcolm Wellmaker a lot, but I'm going to go with the underdog and Cameron Simon by decision here. I think he's going to make it a very boring wrestling fight, and that might be the way to beat Malcolm Wellmaker. Next fight of the night, we've got Damon Blackshear versus Alatong Hae Lee. Damon Blackshear is a very, very dynamic striker, guys. He is fast. He's explosive. He's athletic as hell. Then his grappling is nasty too. His submission skills are nasty. He's coming off of a Kimura win last time out. He's a guy that mixes things up very damn well. And yes, he has some losses in the UFC, but guys, those losses have come to really fucking good fighters. Farid Basharat, Mario Batista, and Montel Jackson. Doesn't get, you know, that's a good resume. Those are, you know, decent losses, let's say. They've aged pretty well. He's taken on Alatong Hae Lee, a guy who is very solid, very well-rounded, tough, gritty vet. Another one of those guys that's not really fantastic at anything, but he's good at most things, right? He's solid everywhere. What he does that's impressive is he sticks to a game plan. If the game plan is wrestling, he's going to do nothing but fucking wrestle the entire time. If the game plan is striking, that's what he's going to do. He is not going to change it up. He has his game plan, and he's sticking to it. He's like a discount, you know, fucking Timu Bilal Muhammad to me, right? Look, to me, Blackshear is the way better fighter, guys. He's way more dynamic, way more finishing ability. Minus 485 pretty much tells you all you need to know. I'm going to say submission, but really anything is live here. I could see a knockout. I could see a decision win. Fuck, I mean, there's a small chance Alatong Hae Lee can win this fight. I'm going Damon Blackshear by submission. I don't mind the money line. Moving on, we've got Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. Sexy Mexi. I feel like I've broken this fight down like 14 times. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really think we've done this like 2 or 3 times this year. Sorry, there's something over there that's throwing me off. But yeah, let's start with Gutierrez, one of the craftiest kickers in the division, right? Super technical striker, great footwork, excellent leg kick, solid takedown defense, solid takedown offense as well. He's a guy that doesn't put himself in harm's way, right? Unnecessary risks are not something he's going to be taking. The dude is smart. He's well trained. He comes from a good team, and he's just like a smart, strategic fighter. He's taking on Sexy Mexi, John Castaneda, tough, durable, well-rounded skill set, good boxer, right? Great submission skills, not afraid to throw down. He's willing to get brawly as shit as well. When he's on, he's down to make fights gritty. He's down to make them chaotic. I just don't know that that's the best recipe against a guy like Chris Gutierrez. I think this one's going to be competitive early on. First round, I can see it totally being a close round. But I think as we go on, as we get into minutes 6, 7, 8, that second round, that third round, Chris Gutierrez is just going to prove that he's the sharper striker on the feet. I see him pulling away in this one and just kind of touching John Castaneda up in what I think is just going to be a stand-up fight for the entire 15 minutes. Give me Chris Gutierrez by decision. Pretty confident in it. I like me some John Castaneda, but I don't see it in this one. Next fight of the night, we've got apparently somebody fucking named Elon Elder, even though it's definitely Evan Elder. Give me a second here. Let me fix that. While I'm fixing it, guys, you guys know the deal. Do like the thing at the bottom says. Like and subscribe, okay? Follow us. We're trying to get to 1,000. We're almost there. We're hoping to get there by next week. Maybe that's fucking wishful thinking, but hook your boys up. Anyways, Evan Elder, and he is taking on Gage Young, which is an insane name. Evan Elder, sharp boxer, fast hands, good fundamentals, moves well, throws in combinations, and has a really damn solid chin. He is also well-rounded, right? He can wrestle if he needs to, holds his own, does a great job in scrambles. He's still developing, and there's room to grow. I think this guy will be in the UFC for a while, and I think he can make a name for himself. He is taking on Gage Young. Damn, I just came up with that on the spot. Pretty badass. Gage Young, aggressive, fearless guys. He brings the fucking fight. This kid is constantly moving forward. He's throwing big as shit. He's got grappling, and that's ultimately what he wants to get to. But you wouldn't really know it seeing the way he fights, right? He just moves fucking forward like a bat out of hell, throws big as shit, and he's dangerous with power. There's really not much more to say about Gage Young. That's how he fights. His cardio, not the best in the world. Doesn't do a great job at really dictating the pace of the fight. Like, he's just going to go forward. And if you're patient or you're able to avoid that onslaught, you're probably going to win the fight. I'm taking Evan Elder here. I mean, as a UFC veteran, a guy that's way more technical, more durable, more experience at the high level, more ways to win. So I think as long as he doesn't get chinned early on in that first round, he should win this fight. And I think he finds himself a finish. So give me Evan Elder. I'll say TKO, maybe a takedown, and then he beats his ass or, holds him up against the cage, drops him, something like that. Evan Elder, ground and pound, TKO, round 2. Moving on. Very fucking interesting fight, guys. I love this. We got Danger, Matt Schnell, and he's taking on Jimmy the Brick Flick. All right? Matt Schnell, fast, scrappy, never in a boring fight. You know the deal with Matt Schnell. Super sharp boxing, sharp counters, down the brawl, and then sometimes, my goodness, that chin cannot fucking hold up. He's one of those dudes. I don't know if his chin is really bad or if it's like, it's just been sus at times. It's tough, but it's one of those chins where you got to worry about it, right? If he catches anything clean, I'm worried about Matt Schnell, but he is a lot better than people give him credit for. He's taking on Jimmy the Brick Flick, a submission specialist, and a damn good one, to be honest with you. Another guy that I think is really underrated. Strong as hell in his submissions, wild as shit on the feet. He's one of those guys. He's going to swing super damn wide and wild and aggressive. And, he's going to do all that to get into the takedowns, right? He's not going to win a kickboxing fight against Matt Schnell. That's not going to happen. Unless he catches Matt Schnell. And that's the big if with Matt Schnell's chin. I think this fight is going to be fucking chaos for as long as it goes. And honestly, I think it serves Matt Schnell very well, right? Of course, we're worried about his chin. But again, I think he survives the first few minutes of this fight and then eventually gets a KO of his own. I'm going Matt Schnell round 1. I think Jimmy Flick is going to come in and be overly aggressive, thinking he's going to either knock this guy out or get him to the ground. And Matt Schnell's just going to prove that he is on a higher level than Jimmy Flick. So give me Schnell. Round 1, KO. Moving on, we've got Ikram Aliskerov, and he has taken on Andre Muniz. Minus 520. Kind of surprising. I honestly, I think the odds for this would be a little wider, but I get it. Andre Muniz is a very, very dangerous grappler, right? Super slick jiu-jitsu game, fucking nasty arm bars, just a submission specialist. His striking is okay. It's nothing to write home about. You know, he's a pure jiu-jitsu guy, but he is strong as shit. He's taking on Ikram Aliskerov, a dude that's explosive, well-rounded. Of course, he's Dagestani, so he has that nasty wrestling base, and he's got real power on the feet, guys. And yes, I know he was kind of fraud checked, right? But that was Robert Whittaker, guys. I mean, come on now. Ikram Aliskerov belongs towards the top of this division. I think he will remain towards the top of this division. I don't think he's championship level, but I think he is a guy that will stay in that top 10 for a couple of years. And I think he's just too complete for Andre Muniz. He's a little too young for Andre Muniz. He's going to stuff the takedowns. He's going to stay safe. He's going to stay on the feet in this fight. And he'll be able to dictate where this fight takes place. So I think he's going to want it to take place on the feet. And he's just going to touch Andre Muniz up until Andre Muniz cannot handle it anymore. So I'm going Ikram Aliskerov, round 2 TKO. It's safe. It's a safe piece for your parlay. I know 520 is a lot, but I mean, it's free cheese, guys. Moving on. We've got Randy Brown versus Nicolas Dalby. Two of my boys. I fuck with both of these guys. Go to our Instagram at the107MMA. Pictures with us and fighters, including one Randy Brown. Anyways, guys, Randy Brown, long, rangy striker, sharp boxing, a decent submission game, right? Anytime you got these long guys, I wouldn't necessarily say he's lanky, right? But he is very tall for the division. Anytime you got these tall guys, long limbs, they got sneaky sub games. Like I said, I think a 78-inch reach, 79 inches, something like that. Does a great job at maintaining distance. Has a knack for finding the finish, man. Whether it's a KO, a TKO, a submission, he's always finding those. He's become a very good defensive fighter later on in his career, right? Not that we're super late into Randy Brown's career, but that was the biggest hole in his game, was he was touchable. And now he's less touchable than he was before. I mean, the guy's awesome. Randy Brown, underrated fighter, underrated career, to be honest with you. He's taken on Nicolas Dalby, a super tough, fucking gritty, tough to put away guy. Cardio for days, even though it looks like he's exhausted. He does the mouth breathing, and it looks like he's exhausted 30 seconds into the fight, but he's got cardio for days. He's willing to brawl, guys. Nicolas Dalby is a fucking Viking, and that's what he is. He's willing to go out there. He's willing to die on his shield. He's going to go and throw volume nonstop. Even though he is hittable, he's a guy that's going to keep coming forward and just put the pace on you. So this is a tough fight to call. I feel like it's, like a striker versus like a pressure guy. To me, I just think Randy Brown is just going to be too clean. He's a little too powerful. Nicolas Dalby, a lot older than he looks. Randy Brown has to be the pick here. I think he keeps this at distance. Leg kicks, a good jab. Dalby's going to pressure, and Randy Brown's just going to find a way to keep his range and keep him at bay. I don't think it's going to be a boring fight. I don't want it to come off like that. I just think Randy Brown is going to put on a good striking clinic against Nicolas Dalby. Eventually, Dalby will slow down, and I could see a Randy Brown finish, but I will go decision for rude boy, Randy Brown. Next fight of the night. Another super fucking interesting one. We go from a guy who has tons of cardio to two of the worst fucking cardio guys in the UFC. And of course, I'm talking about Michel Pereira, and he's taking on Abu Sufyan Magomedov, right? So Michel Pereira, guys, wild, explosive, unpredictable, fucking flips and does capoeira kicks, and he flips on his opponents and stomps on fucking Nico Price's stomach and shit like that. He's insane. Michel Pereira is a fucking lunatic in there, and he was on an unbelievable run up until his last fight. It looked like he was a world beater. This guy was somebody that like I couldn't pick against until he lost. He did lose last time out, but holy shit, guys. Before that, he looked so damn good. But then last time, probably the worst cardio I've ever seen in my life in a cage. He was exhausted 35 seconds into the fight. I don't know what the hell happened. Michel Pereira, not a guy that was ever known for cardio. I mean, it was known that he had bad cardio. But I never knew it could get that fucking bad, honestly. Like, I mean, I tore my Achilles a year ago, as some of you guys, fans of the channel know. And I haven't fucking ran in a year, right? I'm trying to heal up and shit. I feel like I could go for more than 30 seconds. Not with somebody beating my ass. I'm not saying I could survive 30 seconds in the UFC. I'm just saying if I fought somebody who was my level, we were in a cage, I would survive more than 30 seconds after a year of not fucking running. A year. So I don't know what the fuck Michel Pereira was doing. He needs to have fixed that. He's taking on Abus Magomedov, another guy with notoriously terrible cardio. He starts strong. He's super sharp. He looks fucking intimidating as shit. Great kicks, good power. And then at that like 4 to 5, maybe 6 minute mark, he's gassed. That's it. He is done. He is absolutely done. Yes, we did see him win a decision not too long ago, but it wasn't like a grueling pace, wasn't a high-paced fight. I think if Michel Pereira, the Michel Pereira that, was before the Fluffy Hernandez fight, if that Michel Pereira shows up, he fucking walks right through Abus Magomedov and gets a finish. And guys, I have to go based on what I've seen, right? I know that last fight for Michel Pereira was terrible, but I hate to be the guy that's like, I'm judging you based off one fight. So body of work over the last 3, 4, 5 fights, Michel Pereira wins this fight. Hopefully he's got the cardio issues fixed. I don't know if he had COVID or if he had some shit. Michel Pereira round 3 TKO. I think Abus slows down. Michel Pereira puts his ass out in fucking exciting fashion. Let's call it round 3 TKO. Now, the returning Giga Chikadze is taking on David Onama in a very fucking weird matchmaking fight and a very weird odds, fucking spread here. David Onama, the minus 180 favorite. David Onama, a very explosive, aggressive fighter, well-rounded skill set. He is very damn dangerous, and similar to the gentleman from the last fight, he has no fucking cardio. He is a guy that is going to gas out. He is a guy that is going to, the holes are going to appear in his game after a couple minutes. In that first, 3, 4, 5 minutes, that first round, David Onama is super goddamn dangerous. Good pressure, good power, nasty, everything, the technique is great, and then it all just starts to fucking dwindle. He's taking on Giga Chikadze, an elite striker with a decorated kickboxing past. This fight's going to stay on the feet, guys, which is why I don't understand minus 180 for David Onama. Giga is a way better striker. I know it's been a while since we've seen him in the cage. He is a highly credentialed kickboxer. I don't get it. Maybe they think he's old. To me, this is free money, Giga Chikadze plus 150. He is going to win this fight. He's going to be too technical for David Onama. He is not going to get knocked out, and he's just going to pick at him from range. Onama will get tired about 5, 6 minutes into this fight, and Giga Chikadze will win himself a decision. He might get a finish, but I'm going Giga Chikadze on the money line. Free fucking cheese. Parlay this with Ikram Aliskerov, and you got yourself a little plus money parleasy that I think is free money. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening, we've got Lionheart Anthony Smith, and he has taken on Zhang Mingyang. All right, guys, this is Anthony Smith's retirement fight. So first and foremost, fucking congratulations, Anthony Smith, on a phenomenal career. A guy that fought for the title, ultimately came up short. But guys, a lot of people forget he could have stole that world title from John Jones. He could have been another asterisk on John Jones's record. Anthony Smith showed the pride that he has and not taking the easy way out. He could have just took the DQ, took the title, chose not to. So kudos to him for that, and kudos to him on just a fantastic career. So he's calling it quits after this one. And, later on in Anthony Smith's career, recently he's been kind of a meme, right? He's been the Anthony Smith, the on paper guy, right? On paper this and on fucking paper that. And he has some of the most wild takes in the world. And sometimes he yells at his opponent because they're threatening his family and all that kind of shit. Maybe a little bit of CTE. I don't know. I hope not. Either way, Anthony Smith, congrats on a good career. The UFC is doing him no fucking favors here because he's taking on Zhang Mingyang, just a fucking massive young explosive fucking Chinese dude. 11 fight win streak. He is putting everybody out fucking cold in the first round. And this is a massive step up in competition for him. There's no question about that. This is a huge step up in competition. I just don't think it's going to matter, right? I think Anthony Smith is done. I think Zhang Mingyang, this is a free knockout for him. It would be interesting if we get into the mid-second round, late second round. Who knows, right? The veteran Anthony Smith may be able to pull something off in his, retirement fight. I just don't see it. to me, again, another fight that I feel like is free cheese. I know it's minus 455, but this is Zhang Mingyang by knockout, but for sure on the money line. So yeah, Zhang Mingyang. See what's next for him. Moving on, guys, finally to the main event of the evening. And what a fucking main event it is, okay? Ian Machado Garry taking on the Fighting Nerds, Carlos Prates. Guys, this is a massive fight with a lot, and I mean a lot of title implications, it means a lot in the division. The division is in a weird place right now. They got a champ that isn't necessarily seen as, the best champ around. They got a relatively random guy in JDM fighting for the title, right? Jack Della Maddalena was not supposed to be next. It was supposed to be Shavkat. So if JDM wins, does Islam come up? If Bilal wins, is Shavkat next after having to pull out? Like, you never know. I really do think the winner of this fight might find themselves in a title fight next. So massive fucking stakes. We've got Ian Garry. Let's start with him. Slick, composed on the feet, guys. Absolutely nasty, sharp counter striker. Good power, rangy. Rarely just lets his opponents dictate the pace on the feet. Does not get drawn into brawls. Just a very smart, cerebral fighter. We've been seeing him mix in the grappling as of late, and I love that for him. Yes, he lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov. It was a close fight, and he almost had Shavkat out of there in the fifth, guys. And Shavkat, an undefeated guy, supposed to be the boogeyman of this division. Ian Garry put on a great fucking performance for himself there, a great account of himself in what was technically a short notice fight. Very smart, man. Very smart. You might not love his antics, but his fucking fight style is entertaining. He has taken on the Fighting Nerd, Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates is the dude that is sipping whiskey and smoking cigarettes before fights, which is absolutely fucking wild. He's a wild, powerful striker, guys. He has nasty knockout power. Who was it? It was the Neil Magny fight where his hand just like grazed the top of Neil Magny's head, and he just put his ass out cold. Absolutely crazy. He throws everything with bad intentions. He's super goddamn dangerous in the clinch. The knees are nasty. Everything's so powerful from this kid. Just everything is really heavy. He doesn't need time to end the fight. He's finishing a lot of these fights early on, and if he smells blood in the water, he's fucking swarming. Now, the Fighting Nerds, guys, they're 18-0, 19-0, whatever they are combined in the UFC. Eventually, one of them's going to have to lose, right? They're not all just going to be undefeated in the UFC forever. And I was thinking about it today all day, honestly, like which one of the Fighting Nerds is the worst, right? You can't say it's Kyle Bahalio. He's at the top of the division. It's hard to say at this point, that it's Mauricio Hoofy, right? I mean, we've only seen the kid twice, and he's looked awesome, especially last time out. Gene Silva put on a great account for himself. This guy, Carlos Prates, has been phenomenal. So, let me know. I don't know who the worst is, honestly. Either way, in this fight, guys, I'm going to tell you guys one thing. I don't see Ian Garry losing this fight. I really just don't. I know Carlos Prates has the power to put him away. He has the power to put anyone away. But Ian Garry, not a guy that's ever been finished, right? He only has one loss, and it was that decision of Shavkat last time out. Yes, we've seen Ian Garry wobbled. Different circumstances, though, right? He is so goddamn locked in. I think that fight with Shavkat made him a better fighter. I think he needed that. And now he's just focused. He's dedicated. He's going to go in here. I think he's going to be sharp. He's not going to allow Prates to get to him on the feet. And I think Ian Garry will, for the most part, use a heavy grappling attack. He won't be afraid to stand in front of Carlos Prates. Let's not get it twisted. Ian Garry is a nasty striker in his own right, but his grappling game is disgusting, guys. And I really think that's going to be the difference. I think if he stays composed, avoids the, maybe that second or third round, like just avoid the dangerous power early on, the first half of this fight, and Ian Garry should find a win here with the grappling. Of course, then you're one mistake away, though, right? You're one mistake away from getting knocked out by Carlos Prates. I'm taking Ian Garry by decision. I think we finally get that Fighting Nerds loss, but I will tell you, I don't think Carlos Prates is the worst of the Fighting Nerds. I really don't. I think it's Gene Silva, as weird as that sounds. Fucking, come at me in the comments, I guess, if you disagree. So that was it, guys. That was UFC Kansas City, the quick picks edition. Next week, we will be in Iowa, me and DS at the Davison Figueiredo Corey Sandhagen fight. And again, like I said, we will have content with Captain Eric, and we're hoping to have content with Davison Figueiredo. Just depends on when we can get there. If you guys are interested in seeing that, hit the like and subscribe button, okay? Just help us get there. We're trying to get to 1,000. It's not that difficult, guys. If 60, 70 of you guys, whatever it is, just click that fucking subscribe button. It would mean the world to us. It'd make us really happy, okay? You can do that, and then you can also follow us on Instagram at D107MMA, and I didn't change the thing again, so go follow my boy Harry at Proshmo Bets as well. He will be back in a couple weeks, by the way. He'll be here with us for the Bilal card, the Bilal JDM card. He'll be doing the betting breakdown. You guys seem to enjoy that, so yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.